honestly, I know you've been doing this, but honestly, I don't really enjoy that. Okay, and for the parts you enjoy, you need to let him know. Don't just be quiet and think, oh, okay, I wouldn't want to speak up. Hi there.
Hello.
I am Chidi Akunna.
And I am Victor Akunna.
Thank you for joining us on our YouTube channel, Foundation for Family Affairs. If you haven't subscribed, please get on our YouTube channel, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell. Today we would like to address a question that has been sent in, which is pornography good for us? Especially if my spouse is not getting me there. Is pornography good for us? Now, what is pornography? Pornography is printed or visual material, and this is according to dictionary.com, printed or visual material with explicit display of sexual organ or activity intended to stimulate sexual excitement. Okay, now to the person who's asked this, I would like to say, we hear you, we understand you. It can be very frustrating when your sexual needs are not met. Okay, so is pornography good for us? Is good for you as a couple? Okay, to this we would want to first address why pornography or why not pornography, what pornography can do to your union before we respond to the second part of your question. Okay, now from research we've come to know that pornography is that thing, like I said earlier, that is simply acted out. It's people coming together to act a script. Okay, so that's why it kind of seems abnormal when we watch some of the activities that I mean, if you go through the documentaries on how these things are being produced, you would see that, oh wow, there are people behind the scene watching the people acting these things. Okay, and there are times they do the cut, okay, and then start again. So we continue from where it was paused actually. So you continue from where it stopped and then carry on. So with that, we have come to know that pornography objectifies a woman. Now, women are meant to act out these things, and like one research said, watching these things sometimes could confuse the mind. People start thinking women don't get to that point where they even orgasm at all, because they have to go on and on and on, and they have to do things that, I mean, seem like, oh, okay, give me this position, the man is in charge, give me this position, okay, do this, do that, and it makes it look like it's all about the man.
Yes.
Okay, but that's not what sex should be.
Yeah, sorry there. And at the end of the day, it's like it gets programmed to the mind, into the mind of the man, you know, that the woman doesn't have her own will, doesn't have her own emotion.
Yes.
Whatever I want is what I get at the end of the day. So the woman is not seen as a human being. The woman is seen as an object, as a toy that is just used to gratify my own sexual desire. And no human being is an object. Human beings have their own will, they have their own emotion. So when you get to that point where you've been trained over years of viewing pornography, that women just do what you ask them to do, or this is the ideal situation in a sexual experience, and your wife now has a will, has her own emotion, has something that she's not enjoying, that she finds painful, or she refuses to do some sexual act, you are likely to be disappointed. And that is one of the key things that pornography does to a relationship. It objectifies it. That's what we mean by objectifying. It makes them feel like just an ordinary paper that does not have emotion, does not have feelings, can be bent at will. No, that is not reality. Okay,
and going on from there, that would lead us to the second point, which is that it affects the self-esteem of the woman. Okay, I know they would often say it's like it boosts the ego of a man when he's able to satisfy his woman. Yeah, it makes him feel like, yes, my manhood is in place. Okay, but I think women would also want to know that, yeah, I'm doing it for him. Okay, and he finds it satisfying. Okay, and at the same time that the woman as well finds it satisfying. So when you have to make her do things she's not comfortable with, you have to make her just act out like it's all about you as the man, it begins to affect her esteem. There'll be the question of, oh, am I even meeting up? Because yes, one thing pornography does is it takes over the mind. So you're able to satisfy yourselves with this level today. Tomorrow you'll have to go higher and higher and higher. Okay, so it will get to that point where as a woman you start asking, oh, am I even meeting up? Okay, how much of this can I cope with?
And one key thing about this is by the time a woman looks at the performance of the lady in the and you're seeing all the way she's crying, the way she's screaming, you're like, wow, it's like trying to pitch an amateur, someone who's just learning how to act, who you just give the scripts, you just call, oh, you need to act this big role. So a professional that has already been acting, that has millions of followers, they're not the same. So it has a way of impacting the self-esteem of the wife. Where she's feeling like, I can't even meet up, I can't even compete with this person. This person does this for a living and she's acting. There are many times that she's tired and they have to cut, edit. All that part is not captured in the movie.
That's right.
So you just think that something must be wrong with me. That I'm tired. Something must be wrong with me. That I'm not screaming like this. Something must be wrong with me. That it's like when you have unrealistic expectation and you just put this burden on yourself as a lady. You feel inadequate. You feel not enough, and it's a terrible place to be. And that's why a lot of men just have women who just lie down there and they feel like, there's no point in me trying. Everything I do is never going to be enough. It's a terrible place. It's a terrible place.
Okay, so the third one is pertaining your relationship. It can lead to emotional disconnection between both of you. Okay, now when we talk about the use of pornography in marriage, sometimes it's one person using it, but in this case I want to believe you want it to be both of you using it at the same time. Okay, like I said earlier, you get to that point where it's like you need a new high and a new high and a higher one. Okay, and it's just like that point of insatiability. You just can't meet up. So what would happen is that it begins to impact on your relationship. Okay, one person might decide to go off and then do it solo. Since with both of us, I mean, it's like one person is not meeting up. So one person will decide to go do it solo and then meet his or her own mates. In that case, already there's a gap between the both of you.
And one thing about sex, especially when you're having sex with a legitimate person, your spouse, the key thing about it is that it helps you bond.
Yes.
This is one part that is not captured in the video that you're watching. It's supposed to help you build connection at a deep level. So once you're viewing that connection is not there. That is why when people are it's like bringing a third party into your relationship. So it has a way of disconnecting you emotionally. You just feel like it's not you and your spouse now, it's you and 200 people and plus people behind the scene. Alright, so that has a way of desecrating that sacred atmosphere, that sacred experience that's supposed to be shared by just one legitimate person in the whole wide world. Alright, that's not the place you want to take your spouse to. Honestly.
Very good. Okay, and the next one is the results in divorce at the end of the day. The big D word, divorce. And why is that? Okay, by the time your needs are no longer met, or you're not meeting his needs, or he's not doing it for you, it begins to put that gap, that space between you both. And then one person may go on to find satisfaction outside the marriage. Which could, affect trust in the marriage, and you're there. So, okay, even if that person doesn't go off, you're there, whoever it is now, thinking, oh, I'm not meeting up. Oh, what if, and what if, and what if, and you're there asking so many questions and wondering, already trust is being impacted, because you then be doubting, oh, okay, because I'm not meeting up, he may go off or she may go off to meet somebody else.
Absolutely.
So with trust being impacted, there'll be a lot of suspicion. while you're suspecting each other, I mean, it just affects the whole atmosphere in the marriage and could lead on to divorce.
And it's not just we coming up with this. The statistics have proven that people who actively use pornography in their relationship, you can Google it yourself, they experience, the rate of divorce goes high.
That's true.
Goes up.
That's true.
Alright, so, and another key point is this. When couples engage in pornography, one key thing that it does is that it has a way of, particularly when people are trying to satisfy each other, like, they keep looking for a new experience to take that excitement to the next level. There's a possibility that they begin to ask their spouse to do things that their spouse don't want to do. Alright, so I will heard all kind of stories, people asking for their spouse to, for anal sex or something. And when the woman says, you know what, this is hurting me, I can't go on with this. And because it has become an addiction. Remember, addiction is when you lose control of. When that passion, when it comes on you, you lose your control of your faculties.
It becomes compulsive disorder.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for that. So you completely lose control of your faculties. So the moment that begins to happen, you're no longer the one in control. That desire, there is a neural pathway that has been created in your brain. So you don't have full control. You can't tell yourself stop and you stop. The moment you can't do that, it has become an addiction. And when people get to addiction, when people become addicted to something, what happens is that they have to keep looking for a new high. And so when your spouse happens to turn down some of your new concept that you've found, the possibility is that most people begin to explore it somewhere else. And that's where the beautiful thing that you have called your marriage begin to disintegrate. Why? Because you are beginning to go outside, you are beginning to bring all kind of stuff into your relationship. And very few relationships survive this kind of consequence. Very few.
Okay. So having said that, I mean, these are things for you to consider. We just thought, yes, in addressing this, we need to let you know what pornography can do to your marriage. Okay. And then in addressing the second bit, which is that he's not getting you there, what can you do? Psychologists would often encourage that, sex therapists, beg your pardon, would often encourage that spouses have this day where they explore their bodies.
Yeah.
Now it's not about sex. It's got nothing. This is a day where it's just about exploring your bodies. Now in doing this, he would, go through the parts of your body, touch. How do you find this? And I would encourage that you speak out. Okay, you need to let him know. If there's something he does, you say, do you know, honestly, I know you've been doing this, but honestly, I don't really enjoy that. Okay, and for the parts you enjoy, you need to let him know. Don't just be quiet and think, oh, okay, I wouldn't want to speak up, or for whatever reason. Okay, so you need to speak up. Let him know how to help you get there.
And if you've gotten to that point where you feel it's become an addiction, seek help. Alright? You can't fight addiction by yourself. Strong will. Releasing your will is not enough for addiction. Because there's a neural pathway that before. A neural pathway is like there's a path that has been opened up in your mind, in your brain. So the only way is to talk to a professional that will help you walk through it and bring yourself out of it.
So we want to believe that what we've shared would be of help to you. Let us know. Keep in touch. Let's know how this has helped you. Okay, and we're sure that this would be helping a lot of marriages out there. Marriage is to be enjoyed.
Absolutely.
Sex in marriage is to be enjoyed. Okay,
gift.
It's a gift. It's a treasure. And go on, like we said, explore your bodies, get to know each other better, and you'll find things you enjoy that will help you get there. All right, until we come your way again, it's goodbye from us.
Bye-bye.